Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of high school basketball with the Bethany Christian Bruins. Tonight, from Boulder Court on the campus of Bethany Christian Schools in Goshen, Indiana, it's the final game of the regular season for the junior varsity boys. It's the Fremont Eagles against the Bethany Christian Bruins as we count down the final seconds to our tip-off here this evening. The Eagles making a trip over from Steuben County a day earlier than planned because, as you may have heard, the Bruin girls are going to state this weekend and they'll be out of town by what would have been tip-off tomorrow night, and on senior night, the final game of the regular season. Never a bad idea to do it with when all of your students can actually be here. So we are getting ready to go, counting down the final seconds on the clock to the pregame tip-off, I guess it's not a pregame tip-off. Tip-off is the beginning of the game, but we'll get the starters announced here in a matter of moments, but we'll get them going a few seconds earlier than usual here on BruinsVision. For Fremont, they're going to come out with 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a freshman on their 9-person junior varsity roster. Stephen Burkholder, a junior, wears number 5. Ethan Grimm, a sophomore, and wears number 15. Ryan Baker, a freshman, number 21. Brady Verdon, a sophomore, wears number 25. And Austin Fugate, a junior, wears number 33. Fremont comes out in the red uniforms, trimmed in gray and black, white numerals on the front and back of the uniform as we will get things going here this evening. The Bruins, conversely, in their home white uniforms, they've got 5'7" freshman Sawyer Beachy wearing number 10, another 5'7" freshman Jude Miller wearing number 12, Zane Parson, a 5'8" freshman wearing number 20. I don't think I got that right. Zane Parson, number 22. Trey Caffey, a 5'10" freshman, wears number 30. And Aiden Falcone, a 6'2" sophomore, wears number 42. The Bruins coached by Lucas Keys and the Eagles coached by Terry Bontrager. As very nice. We just got, a gratuitous number that doesn't exist in our scorebook here. And so we'll spend the final seconds before tip-off scratching things out and rewriting them so that they're all right. Because so many of you want to know what's going on in my scorebook. But if I don't fix it now, we'll get things wrong later in the evening, and nobody wants that. Ball is in the air and tipped over toward the Fremont bench. Fugate runs it down. He'll bring it up the floor wearing uniform number 33 in Fremont red and white as we get things going here this evening on BruinsVision. Fremont goes from right to left in the opening half. Bethany will go from left to right as the dribble is off the foot of Burkholder. It is out of bounds. The dribble, not Burkholder's foot. And then Ethan Grimm went to chase the ball, and all of Ethan Grimm ends up out of bounds. It's a Fremont turnover. We'll give the ball to the Bruins with 6:43 to go in the first quarter. Again, 4 7-minute periods here in the junior varsity contest. We'll go back to the traditional 8-minute length for the varsity contest as the handoff comes to Jude Miller, right side of the circle. He turns, looks to his left now, tries to whip the ball underneath. Falcone takes it after the deflection, goes out into the corner for Trey Caffey. His 3 is on the way and short. Grimm in on the rebound. Falcone tried to knock it away, but Grimm came out of the scrum with the basketball. They'll get it back to Ryan Baker on the right side wing. Grimm at the top of the circle over to Fugate in the left side corner. His pass comes back toward the top of the circle and found the front row of the bleachers. Turnover on Fremont for the second consecutive possession, and the Bruins will take it with 49 seconds gone in the first quarter. Still waiting for our first points of the night. Last year when these two teams met, Fremont put up a number that was almost ridiculous. I think it was something like 80-14 in the JV game as Parsons tries to answer with a 3-point shot on the other end. It's short. Falcone with the offensive rebound at the free throw line. Throws it underneath and doesn't find anybody except the wall. So the turnover will give the ball back to Fremont. And we have a timeout so Zane Parson can tie his shoe. That's got to be an awkward feeling to stand there and mess with the laces with the entire gym staring at you. So he's going to make sure he does it right. I see him going around the loop there, and we're good to go. 1 minute and 10 seconds gone here in the opening quarter. 3 turnovers on the first 4 possessions, and that's something I'd be a little bit more expecting of on Saturday in a state final with the stage being a little bit bigger than anybody else has played on. As Fugate's 3 from the corner misses everything. Offensive or defensive rebound rather kept alive by Caffey, and chucked underneath to Sawyer Beachy. Beachy goes back to the right side wing, and Jude Miller as they come across the division line. Now Beachy looks underneath, gives it back to Miller, right side wing. Miller fakes to his right, goes out left to Zane Parson. Shovels it back to Falcone at the top of the circle. Beachy comes to the top of the key, gives the ball back to Miller. Dribbling in the right hand, out making life difficult for him is Ryan Baker, number 21. As you'll note that Fremont's wearing entirely odd numbers and Bethany's wearing entirely even numbers. Well, you might not have noted that, but I just did, and so now you're aware of it. 3-point shot from Falcone off the side of the backboard. Offensive rebound kept alive by Beachy, out to Caffey on the left side wing for three. Good. As Caffey dials long distance for the first points of the night. Bruins up by 3 as they've held Fremont off the scoreboard for 2 minutes and 17 seconds thus far. Going baseline is Grimm. He'll work it underneath, now into the left side corner. High arcing 3-point shot. I thought it was so high arcing it wasn't going to go in from Ryan Baker, but it did. And we're tied at 3 as both teams have connected from outside the arc on their third possession of the night, but their first successful shot, as the deflection is knocked into the backcourt by way of the official. And Bethany keeps the ball alive, and we've got a foul out on the perimeter. It will go against Fremont, as I believe they got Ethan Grimm. Yeah, that's the number on the scoreboard. His first, team foul number 1. Fresh possession for the Bruins in a tie game. 4:17 left, first quarter. Pass comes out over the top to Beachy into the corner. That's Falcone. Has it knocked away. Runs it down on top of the court monogram. And Caffey will get it back left side wing. Trey drives from just inside where he hit that 3 a moment ago. Here's Parson left of the circle. Over to Miller. Miller looks to his right underneath the Falcone. Shovels off to Parson. Short corner jumper off back iron. Rebound grabbed by Falcone at the first time of asking. Back to Caffey, right wing 3. That one missed a little bit off to the right. Rebound taken by Grimm, and here come the Eagles. Out in front, the layup is up over Caffey and deflected back to the shooter. That was Baker giving it back out to Fugate. Now Grimm gives it back to Fugate, left side corner. 3-pointer on the way, off the front of the iron. Rebound collected by Fremont as it went to the ground. Then a little bit of involuntary diving action from Burkholder. He had help. And the 3-point try is up and good once again from Baker. He is hot on a personal 6-0 run. The score is rising. The dough is rising. Yep, we're getting into baking puns already, and the first quarter's only halfway over. Parson left side corner for the Bruins, underneath to Falcone. Back out to the right side wing and Miller. They throw it back underneath, and they're going to skip it back to Trey Caffey at the top of the circle and turn the ball over. On and over and back violation, as Bethany just about lucked out there. If Baker had touched the ball, they would have been eligible to pick it up and keep going, since it would have been deflected into the backcourt. And Lucas Keys is going to call a timeout here and try to recombobulate the offense. The Bruins have scored just once in, I think, their first 5 possessions. So he'll take a 30-second timeout with 3:05 remaining. And with our first time out of the quarter, we want to remind you that BruinsVision will be here all year long, but for right now, that's all of tonight. But the Bruins will be back in action at the varsity level at the sectional tournament on Tuesday, February 28th. That's 5 days from now. They travel to Hamilton and take on the host Marines in a 7 p.m. tip-off. You can check out ihsaatv.org for all of the streaming options as we head into the state tournament. Fremont will be at Westview, and they take on Prairie Heights Tuesday in an opening round contest. Then, in fact, these teams will play simultaneously on Friday if they advance. That would be a 7:30 tip-off at both sites, and the final is scheduled for Saturday. It's the default start time for a sectional final is 7:30, but many sites have bumped that up to 7, since in northeastern Indiana there are a lot of long drives, and so check your local listings for the game and time in your area. As a traveling violation is going to be called against Stephen Burkholder, that gives the ball back to the Bruins. Fremont has turned the ball over 4 times and drained a couple of threes. Bethany is trailing on the scoreboard, but only has the 2 turnovers, so they have missed a couple more shots than the Eagles have. Been a little more feast or famine for the red-clad visitors. Here's Falcone at the top of the circle. He hands it off to Miller. Now this is Parson working over to the right side wing. Caffey comes back to Miller into Falcone in the corner. He'll drive baseline, goes up with the shot, and had his shot altered by a Fremont sub. That was Dylan Fansler, who checked in on the timeout for the first time tonight. Also see number 43 in the game. That's Nevin Bloom. Bloom down here on the left side block. And as Falcone shoots a couple of free throws, we'll see another Fremont sub here coming in in a matter of moments. First one is good, and checking in off the bench, Isaac Perez, the sophomore. So now I think we've seen everybody off the Fremont. No, we haven't seen Jake Jelinski yet. Second free throw from Falcone is good, as the Bruins cut the deficit to 1, 6-5, with 2:28 to go first quarter. As that was I guess it'd be a carrying violation, as the ball bounced up and Grimm was trapped it against his hip, making it maybe a double dribble when he put it back down on the floor. Still, first time I've seen that called in quite some time, as Falcone skips the ball into the right side corner and turns it over. But ball comes out into the hands of Grimm, up ahead as Fremont looks to extend this 1-point lead. Grimm's right of the circle. Parson picks him up on defense, and a reaching foul going to be called. I'm not saying there wasn't a foul, but I'm saying that was a relatively slow whistle, as Miller picks up his first personal, team foul number 1. Dylan Fansler with the foul a moment ago on Fremont means they have 2 with 2:08 to go in the first quarter. As the pass comes in up top to Baker, he's going to look to his right, hand the ball off to Grimm. Grimm comes top of the circle, defended by Parson. Dribbling in his right hand, using his body to keep the ball away from the defender. Now he crosses back from left to right. We've got a 3-second violation called on Fansler, and we are opening the book on types of turnovers here for the Eagles. Having gotten a double dribble and a 3-second violation called against them so far, and the game is just now 5 minutes old. Bounce pass comes into the lane. Parson throws up a shot and he gets bumped. He'll go to the free throw line. The 5'8 dynamo that really makes the Bruin offense run from an energy standpoint. As the second foul on Fansler, who has gotten himself familiar with the scorer's book for all the wrong reasons here in the first quarter. First free throw off to the left and no good, as we'll see Brady Verdon back into the game for, we'll see, I'm sorry, that's Jelinski, 23, not 25. Second free throw on the way for Parson would tie the score, and it does. So the Bruins will get the ball up, or the Eagles rather, will get the ball up the floor, and a shot attempt is up from the right side and no good, as the Bruins counter with a foul on their defensive end. Fouls on Trey Caffey, his first team foul number 2, and Fremont will shoot its first free throws of the evening. Verdon, sophomore, rolls in the first. He is the first Eagle to score tonight that is not named Ryan Baker. Also, Fremont has done all of its scoring tonight in odd numbers, 2 3s and a 1. But now as they have 2 of each of those, the score results in an even number, as it's 8-6. Bruins can still tie or take the lead with a basket on this possession. Minute 22 to go in the opening quarter, as the ball comes out from Parson. He was looking for Falcone, had it taken away, and we're going to get a shot that is up and good from Nevin Bloom. A little bit of a long continuation after that whistle, but the basket counts. And looked like Beachy back on defense, and it is indeed his personal foul. So Fremont can run that lead up to 5 with Bloom's 3-point play here, and they do. So the Bruins came back and tied the score at 6 after it was 3-0, then 3-3, then 6-3, then 6-all. It's been a 5-0 Fremont run, and the Bruins will get a fresh possession here after an Eagle foul with 67 seconds left in the quarter. That's on Baker, his first, team third. And Bethany will reset from in front of the Fremont bench. Here's Beachy dribbling back along the timeline. Backs the ball out after an advance. Here's Caffey, at the top of the circle. Miller back to Parson. Parson drives into the lane, stops just in front of the free throw line. Back out to Beachy, who's going to go underneath to Caffey on the left side block. Trey backs the ball out. Now Beachy over to Parson with 42 seconds to go in the quarter. Bruins work the ball into the right side corner, back up top where it is kept alive off the deflection by Caffey. Caffey to Parson at the top of the circle. 31 seconds left in the quarter, as Bethany has burned more than half the allotted time after that inbound pass at the 107 mark. Beachy on the left side wing thought about a three-point shot, and then he thought a little too much, and his feet started moving before the ball did. So a traveling violation will give the ball back to Fremont with 25 seconds exactly remaining in the first quarter. Eagles work the ball across the division line. Baker goes baseline, tries to pass out of a double team, gets out of a double team successfully. Falcone wrestles the ball away. We've got 7 turnovers for Fremont in the first quarter, but the offense has worked when they have gotten the shot off, as the layup is up and good from Jude Miller, and Bethany is within 3 at 11-8. Ball comes over to Grimm on the left side wing. Time running out. He fires a left side wing three, no good. Rebound tapped up in the air. It is grabbed by Bloom, but he doesn't have enough time to do anything with it as the quarter concludes. So the Bruins get the last basket of the first quarter, and they will have a chance to start the second quarter with the ball because they've got the alternating possession arrow. And that means that it's not quite going 2 for 1 because there was a Fremont possession in there. It was just a rushed Fremont possession trying to beat the clock. If you are with us tonight on BruinsVision, there's a decent chance you're interested in some Northeast Indiana teams taking part in the Girls State Finals coming up on Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, as Bethany takes on Lanesville at 10:30 a.m. in Class 1A. Then Fairfield takes on Corydon Central at 6 p.m. in the Class 3A title tilt. Those games are televised only on Bally Sports Indiana and Bally Sports Indiana Extra, so they're not on TV in the South Bend market. If you're looking for a stream, you can catch that on ihsaatv.org, or if you go to ihsaa.org, there's also a listing of radio stations that will carry that game without separating you from your credit card. I know if you're in the Goshen area, you can catch the game on 107.3 FM out of Warsaw, but there's a full list of those stations, again, available at ihsaa.org. The warning horn has sounded. The teams are supposed to come out and start the second quarter, and the Bruins have done so. We are still waiting on the Eagles. As it'll be Bethany basketball, the throw-in is being administered here from a solid 6 feet outside or behind the timeline. I'm not sure why that happened, but Zach Rice put the ball in play. Bethany still going from left to right on your streaming device here. They're in the white uniforms. This is Falcone looking down into the corner. Back out to Zach Rice, who checks in for the first time today as Falcone goes along the baseline. Pass goes into the corner, and he turns it over. And coming the other way for Fremont is Jake Chalinsky, who will give it to Ethan Grimm, who drives from the left side wing and is fouled as he goes to the rack. The personal foul will be Bethany's fourth of the game. And I'm waiting to see whose number goes up on the scoreboard. It's going to lead at any rate to a couple of free throws for Ethan Grimm. And that first shot is up and good. They called the foul on Falcone, his first. Second free throw forthcoming for Grimm. Good as well. So Fremont runs its lead back to 5, which is the largest it's been all day, at 11-6 and now 13-8. As Caffey works the ball, as Miller works the ball over to Rife in the corner. This is Falcone going left of the circle. Now Caffey looking inside. Has Jude Miller in the free throw circle. Falcone's almost triple teamed on the left side wing. Gets the ball back out to Rife. Now Falcone's got it in the corner. As they're going to get a reaching foul, and Nevin Bloom called for his first infraction. Team foul number 5 on Fremont. Will just be a fresh possession for the Bruins. Ball comes in to Falcone in the corner. Here's Rife out high on the left side wing. Caffey drives baseline, runs into a defender. Back out to Rife. Right side of the circle, Jude Miller with the ball. Caffey takes 2 dribbles to his right. This is Sawyer Beachy, now Falcone, into the corner. Right of the circle, Jude Miller. Falcone's got the ball back as the Bruins keep working. Back up to Beachy up top with 5:39 left in the first half. Falcone goes baseline. They're going to get a whistle before he starts to drive, and it'll be a foul called down underneath. And it's going to go on Steven Burkholder. That is his first, team foul number 6. And it'll be another fresh possession for the Bruins, and that won't last very long. As the pass came in, it cost Falcone out of stride, sailed off his fingertips and out of bounds. So a Bethany turnover, their 5th of the game, gives the ball back to Fremont with 5:31 to go in the second quarter. Eagles looking to extend their largest lead of the game as the pass goes underneath. Ball is out to Bloom, now on the left side wing. Are we going to get... We're going to get another, either a 3 or a 5 second count. It's going to give the ball back to the Bruins. As Fremont has been, I said feast or famine, everything or nothing on offense today. Their 2 made field goals are worth 3 points, which is the most, well, they've had 2 conventional 3s and an old-fashioned 3-point play, which is about as high as you can get on those possessions. The issue is that the rest of their possessions have either resulted in free throws or a turnover. Or, I guess, a missed shot with Bethany getting the rebound. As Beachy's going to work the ball around the perimeter, they go underneath to Falcone. His shot is altered as he goes up in the air with it. Rebound is grabbed by Grimm, and he's going to go just about coast to coast. Dumps it off to Bloom, and we're going to get a charging foul, and Sawyer Beachy slow to get up, but looked like he might have taken contact off the forehead. As the Fremont foul still hasn't gone up on the board. It's the second of the game against Bloom, who is, regardless of who was at fault from a rules perspective, Bloom is considerably larger than Beachy and was moving at a high rate of speed, which means, you get the whole physics equations out, and the momentum and the force both working in Bloom's favor, even as Beachy drew the charge. So it's 13-8. The Bruins are in the bonus now because that was Fremont's 7th team foul. Of course, there are no free throws on an offensive foul as Bethany has the ball over on the left side wing. This is Caffey up top. Parson works the ball underneath to Falcone, who's been on the floor for every second of the game thus far. Ball goes over into the corner. They work it underneath to Zach Reif, who's got a double team. Tries to lead Falcone down toward the baseline. Miller gives it up top to Caffey. Parson on the right side wing. Stops in the slot. This is Miller giving the ball back to Caffey at the point. Caffey goes to Parson. As Bethany's just working around the perimeter trying to get inside. And this is a Fremont team that, with the exception of Ryan Baker, 7 of the 9 players on their roster are sophomores and juniors, so they're a little more physically developed than the Bruins are. And we're going to get a foul called on Fremont as Grimm, I think, they said he ended up tripping Zane Parson. It looked like he was trying to draw a charge, but he wasn't in the right spot for it. And Parson's going to go to the line for 1 in the bonus. And I'm not exactly sure who on the Fremont bench, but one of the coaches over there is making his point known that he did not think but either didn't think that should have been a foul, or his player should have done a better job of getting in position. And now there will be a conversation over there with the trail official. And I don't think the coach is particularly pleased, but of course the success rate of coaches arguing with officials, not real high. So Parson at the free throw line will have 1 in the bonus with 3:46 left in the half. First free throw rattles off the iron and is grabbed by Grimm, who will bring it up the floor. He's got 2 points as the feet come into play again. Jude Miller gets the deflection off his foot, but then the ball is out of bounds off the Bruins, and it will stay with Fremont with 3:36 to go in the half. Cutting into the lane, the layup is good for Stephen Burkholder, so Fremont now with all 4 points in the quarter. It was 11-8 at the end of one period. Now with 3:18 to go in the first half, it's 15-8, and we're going to get a traveling violation as Miller picked up the ball before he stopped running. So the ball's in play, and coming up the sideline here is Baker, and Miller tried to make a little bit too much happen on defense. That is his second personal foul, team foul number 5. Ball comes into the top of the circle and Grimm. Now Baker on the left side wing has a couple threes tonight. Misses on a third. Rebound run down at the top of the circle by Miller. Bruins have a 3-on-2 fast break going, but Caffey can't handle the feed underneath. Rolls out to Falcone, who's 15-footer along the baseline, too strong. Grimm has the rebound. Pass comes out in front, and there's a foul as he tried to pass it out the head of the defense. As I think they're going to get Parson on his first infraction of the night, team foul number 6. So that wasn't, I forget what the term for it. It wasn't the foul where you foul somebody to stop a fast break from happening. There was legitimate defense being played, but it has the effect of stopping the fast break from happening, since Bethany is still in its fouls to give portion of the game. And now we're going to get a foul on the defensive end on Reif. His first foul, team foul number 7, but this will be 2 shots rather than a pure 1-and-1, I believe. Are we? Okay, they're going to say it was not a shooting foul. So it is a 1-on-1 opportunity for Steven Burkholder. 15-8, the Fremont advantage, as we're going to see Sawyer Beachy check back into the game for Zach Reif. Good to see that Beachy good to go after taking that charge a couple of minutes ago. Anytime you get slow to get up on a play where your head hits the floor, you start to worry a little bit as Burkholder misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and we're going to get a rebound and a fall over from Brady Verdon. So Fremont with the turnover. And Bethany's got the basketball coming back up the floor. 2:34 to go in the second quarter. Bethany hasn't scored in the period yet. It was 11-8. They were within 3 at the end of 7 minutes, as Beachy gets the ball to Caffey. Now Beachy fires from right in front of our broadcast position. His 3 is off to the right. Rebound taken by Grimm, who's going to go to his right as he brings the ball across the division line. Right side wing 3 from Grimm is up and off the front of the iron. Rebound taken by Burkholder. Back out to Nevin Bloom in the right side corner. And they go into the free throw lane. Now a 3 from Burkholder misses everything and is run down in the far corner of the floor by Trey Caffey. Caffey gets the ball up ahead to Miller, who's going to go underneath the defender. Looked like the defender was reaching out up high, and the rebound was retrieved by Miller, kind of cut underneath him, and then we're going to get a foul on the offense or on the rebound try going against Falcone, his second, team foul number 8. So that's going to send Verdon to the stripe. He is 2 for 2 at the line. Fremont was 5 for 5 before that Burkholder miss on the front end of a 1-and-1 a moment ago. Falcone likely done for the first half with 2 fouls with 1:55 to go, as the free throws are forthcoming for Verdon. He missed the front end off to the right. Rebound taken by Parson. This is Caffey coming across the timeline with 1:53 left in the quarter. Top of the circle, Jude Miller 3 on the way off back iron. Rebound goes to Grimm. He went over Caffey in the process. Thought that might have been okay in the sense that you can reach over somebody as long as you don't displace them, and while Fremont does not have heights listed in the roster, Ethan Grimm is a large dude. Now he is a large dude with 3 personal fouls, as he is whistled for the infraction on that play. And wait a minute, are they calling... Wait a minute! We've got a Fremont foul on the scoreboard, and one of the officials went back down the floor and tried to administer Fremont free throws. That is not how that is supposed to work, those of you aspiring officials at home. Instead, we will get free throws for Trey Caffey, who hit the Bruins' first points of the game on a 3-point shot and has not scored since. Of course, the Bruins haven't scored in the last 5 minutes. Now the first free throw from Caffey rolls out. We have had 3 1s-and-1 in this quarter, and all of them have ended after the first attempt. Now Grimm has the rebound. He'll come into the offensive half of the floor. This time, a 3-point try on the way from Burkholder, misses everything. Bloom offensive rebound, did not miss everything, but didn't go in either. Rebound is taken out and passed to Grimm, and Brady Verdon traveled. So that will give the ball back to the Bruins, who are... I mean, if you're going to not score in a quarter, as Bethany has not done, you might as well limit the other team to 4, as the Bruins have done to the Eagles. It's a 7-point margin, as Parson gives the ball over to the right side wing. That's Beachy handling it there, going underneath the Parson. And the ball, I think it was kicked, and will stay with the Bruins. Austin Fugate will check in for Fremont with 1:10 to go. So a fresh possession off the kick for the Bruins. Ball comes in over the top. That's Caffey going to Jude Miller in the left side corner. Miller defended by Fugate. They throw it out to Parson between the circles. Zane dribbles to his left. Now coming back toward the top of the circle is Jude Miller. And the foul goes on Fugate, his first. Team foul number 9. And we've got a Fremont coach out on the court gesturing at the official. I think he is concerned about the swim move that may have been used, but it was, there was ultimately contact in both of those directions. And once again, the arguing winning percentage of coaches against officials is not real high, as that is Fremont's 10th team foul. I'm sorry, I looked up at the board before their 10th foul was awarded. So the first free throw from Jude Miller is no good, but it doesn't lead to the end of the possession, and the second free throw is successful. So the Bruins are on the scoreboard in the second quarter. They have 1 point as Fugate goes underneath, shoots over Reif and misses the shot, and the rebound is knocked out of bounds off of Miller. It's going to stay with Fremont with 50 and 4/10 seconds remaining. As the ball comes into play, they go out along the baseline. Reif knocks it away. It will be Beachy to come up the floor, up ahead to a streaking Parson, whose runner from the right side banks in. Parson with 3 points tonight. The Bruins now with 11 as they go back, get the ball margin back to 4. Now a steal from Miller and a layup from Parson cuts things to 2. Now we're going to get a traveling violation called against Fremont. They have moved the ball quite quickly, but they have also given the ball up a lot. Got Fremont unofficially with 13 turnovers and Bethany with 7 here in the first half. Fresh possession for the Bruins comes from underneath as Caffey goes over into the corner, and we've got a traveling violation called against Bethany. And oh boy, we've got fans cheering their defenses, forcing traveling violations on both sides. This could be a long night. Fremont ball comes in as Bloom goes over the top. The ball was knocked out by Caffey. Miller got a hand on it, and he'll regroup with 14 seconds to go. Comes across the Bruin paw into the forecourt at 11 seconds. Beachy on the left side wing, over to Parson. Parson through the double team, and we're going to get a whistle, and we have a foul in the lane, I believe, with 4 6/10 seconds. Yes, we do. That is on Verdon, as I believe the signal was. It is his first foul, team foul number 11. And it's going to send Beachy to the free throw line for a couple of foul shots. First free throw is up and no good. Bethany has gone to the line 6 times today, and they have missed the first free throw on 5 of those occasions. So a second free throw awaits for Beachy. Good. So it's 15-14. Fremont comes up the floor. They whip the ball underneath. It's deflected out of bounds, but the horn sounds before the whistle blows, and we have reached the end of our second period. So the Bruins, after being held to 1 point in the opening 7 minutes, get 5 points in the final minute, and they close the gap to 15-14. We will do some drawing on the scorebook here, and we will get you our unofficial halftime scoring before we sign off for the halftime intermission. Not a whole lot of scoring going on here, just 29 points between the two teams. But we'll start with Fremont because they're leading. I've got 2 points for Stephen Burkholder, 2 for Ethan Grimm, 6 for Ryan Baker, 2 for Brady Verdon, and 3 for Nevin Bloom. On the Bruins side of the ledger, Sawyer Beachy's got 1, Jude Miller with 3, Zane Parson with 5, Trey Caffey with 3, and Aiden Falcone with 2. That is 14. Bruins get to 11 points. Bruins give up 11 points in the first quarter, 4 in the second. That's 15 total for Fremont. On the Bruins side of the ledger, 8 points in the first quarter, 6 in the second, for a total of 14. 14 minutes down, 14 to go. It is Fremont 15, Bethany 14 in tonight's junior varsity action. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. Welcome back to Boulder Court on the campus of Bethany Christian High School in Goshen, Indiana. We are getting ready for the third quarter between Fremont and Bethany Christian in tonight's JV game as we are counting down the final 30 seconds of the intermission. And I want to remind you, if you are tuning in tonight and wondering why we are playing tonight instead of tomorrow, the girls' team will be gone tomorrow because they'll be on the way to a state championship game. They take on Lanesville at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. And if you can't be part of the crowd on Saturday in person, or even if you can, I want to remind you that the Bruins are holding a send-off for the girls basketball team out here in the gym lobby at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow morning, just before the school day starts and just before the teams head off to take care of business in Indianapolis. And I believe the Bruin Gear Shack will be open. But you've got that opportunity to help start the trip and your Friday off on a positive note. That's tomorrow morning at 8:20 here outside Boulder Court. Fremont basketball as we start the third quarter. The teams switch sides, so the Eagles go from left to right and finish in front of our broadcast position. As this is Nevin Bloom giving the ball over to Grimm. Now a three-point try from Baker in the left side corner. He left it off the front of the iron. Long rebound on the far side goes out to Burkholder. His shot no good, and then there was a foul on the rebound with 6:43 to go in the quarter. So this is going to, looks like it's just an out-of-bounds play to the Eagles. Ball comes back into the corner. Grimm puts up a three-point try from over there, and it goes. So Grimm's got 5 points for the Eagles, who push their lead back out to 4. Again, it was 15-8 Fremont with about a minute and a half left in the third quarter. The Bruins broke the seal on a free throw and then went on to score 5 points the rest of the quarter. As Falcone goes to his knees and starts wrestling for the basketball, interesting, a lot of times we see a quick whistle down there when you get players on the floor. And there they let play go for a second, and they're going to get Falcone with his third personal foul, first on the Bruins in this half. So it's 18-14. And we are working the ball down into the corner here. This is Grimm skipping it to the right side wing. That's Bloom dribbling forward. Over to Grimm on the left side wing again, a three. That one barely caught front iron. Rebound kept alive. Bloom has a foot on the line on the left wing. Grimm whips the ball back to Baker, top of the circle. That is Burkholder going underneath on the right side baseline. They'll skip it back over to Baker in the left side corner. Baker drives into the lane, back out to Bloom. Three from the right wing, off the left side rim. Underneath on the rebound, that's Brady Verdon. He goes to the floor, and it's going to go over to the Bruins. Looks like an out-of-bounds call because there wasn't a foul signal there. 5:37 to go, third quarter. As this is Jude Miller holding on the left side, or right side wing rather. Parson reverses it left side to Zach Reif. Ball goes into the corner, and they've got Beachy double-teamed. Parson drives on the wing. Pass comes out to Beachy in the corner. Bruins work the ball out around the perimeter with 5:17 to go in the third. On the left side wing, three-point try up from Caffey and good. Troy Caffey now with the Bruins' first points of both quarters, both on three-point shots. The issue is those are his only points of the night as Fremont turns the ball over as they work it down the right side sideline. This is a high-octane Fremont offense in terms of number of possessions, and that means that on a percentage basis, you end up scoring a lot, but you also end up giving the ball up a lot just because there are more possessions and you're pushing, trying to make things happen. Parson skips the ball back to Caffey. This is Miller going underneath on the give and go in the layup. And Jude Miller's got 5 points tonight. He is the first Bruin to score in all three quarters. Three from Bloom on the other end is an air ball. In on the offensive rebound is Grimm, and he scores. Grimm now with 7 points. He has all 5 of Fremont's tallies in the third quarter. Eagles by 1 now, 20-19. Pass goes into the corner for Parson. Zane works it back to the top of the circle. Miller gives it to Caffey. Left side wing three, good. Trey Caffey now with 9 points. That leads the Bruin offense thus far, and Bethany has what might be its first lead of the game at 22-20. Parson knocks the ball away, and we've got a foul called from the far side of the floor. And it's going to be after Parson knocked the ball away, Ethan Grimm called for pushing off, and that is his fourth personal. And he is incredulous, and his coach is well out, past the sideline, past the hash mark at the end of the coach's box, trying to get an explanation for what just happened. And I don't think any explanation in the world is about to satisfy him as he turns from one official to the other. And only now are we going to get a sub up to the table, as Jake Chalensky will check into the game. So it's a Fremont turnover, realistically on the loose ball, and then it's a loose ball foul, not an offensive foul, so there wasn't team control at that point. As the ball goes down into the corner, and we've got a traveling violation called on Miller. And while I thought that foul call may well have been correct, the other reality is that nobody paid to get in to watch the officials work tonight. As Miller drives to the basket, his layup misses. Parson puts the rebound back in, but it will not count, as we're going to get a third Fremont foul in the first 3:05. And this one goes against Ryan Baker, his second team foul number 2. I'm sorry, a third foul in the first 3:05. Not one of those was on Bethany. Falcone picking up his third, as the Bruins missed their first free throw. Second free throw on the way from Miller is good. Bethany's got this weird thing going tonight where they're making free throws as long as they're the second free throw. As Fremont runs the ball up the floor, shot was altered as it went up and then kicked out and run down to the backcourt by Stephen Burkholder. That's another Fremont turnover. And the ball goes back to the Bruins. I've got Fremont unofficially with 16 turnovers to Bethany's 9, which is still more than the Bruins would like. And that is in 2.5 quarters, or will be 2.5 quarters here in about 10 seconds. And we're going to get a foul on Burkholder, who puts his hands on Miller, as Fremont picks up a third foul now in the quarter. And Zach Reif will trigger the inbound pass. Miller skips the ball to the left side wing to Caffey. Now this is Reif going into the corner. Right slot, Parson left side corner for Sawyer Beachy. He goes baseline and he was bumped. Foul is going to be on Chalensky, his first, team's fourth. Fresh possession for the Bruins at 3:27 to go, which I think is one of the roads the Bruins will take to get to Hamilton High School on Tuesday next week for sectionals. Caffey's three is up from the left side corner. It is no good. We have a foul on the rebound. It's Fremont's fifth of the quarter. And it's going to go on Burkholder, his third. As we'll see Austin Fugate check back in for Fremont. And right now, everybody on the Fremont roster, except for Isaac Perez, who is out here at the top picking up Caffey, has a foul already. This is Reif going into the corner. 3-point try from Caffey rattles out. Parson offensive rebound, stick back, good. Zane Parson now with 7. Bruins have their largest lead of the game at 25-20. As this unit that's fairly well unchanged from last year only mustered 14 points in that JV game to close out the season last year, and right now they're at 25 with another year of experience under their belt. That is Parson going to the right side corner. They'll skip it back to the left side wing and Caffey. Beachy in the baseline, and he traveled again. 2:41 to go, third quarter. The Bruins outscoring Fremont would be 11-5 in the third period. Fremont has only scored on 2 possessions, a 3 and a 2. And now Parsons going to badger them into a turnover as he uses the sideline as an extra defender. And the ball goes back to the Bruins. So, a 5-point lead, even with 2:27 to go in the fourth quarter, let alone the third, wouldn't be enough to sit on. But I'd rather be +5 than -5 at this point. As Beachy is stripped, he fights and wins the ball back, and we're going to get a foul on Fremont, and that's going to get the Bruins to the verge of the bonus. And if that is on Burkholder, that's his fourth. It is. So it's the last common foul of the game on Fremont. Everything else will either put the Bruins in the bonus free throws or it'll be team control. Pass goes in. It's deflected by Burkholder, who's still on the floor. Now we have a wrestling match ensuing as Rife got down there and tied things up, and the ball would go to the Bruins on the alternating arrow with 2:15 to go in the third. As Beachy's got to get the ball in here, he'll go to Miller at the top of the circle. Right side wing, Caffey goes underneath the Beachy in the corner. He's double teamed. Tried to skip it across the baseline, and it was knocked out of bounds. Perez just about knocked it into the official's head. As whoever that is down there had to do some gymnastics to get out of the way. And they're going to put in Nevin Bloom, as Fremont's only dressing 9 players for the JV game. I mean, in uniform, obviously there are more people dressed. It would be newsworthy if they weren't. Caffey's jumper is well short from inside the arc. Rebound kept alive by Beachy. Caffey's got it right side wing. Here's Parson on the left side. But anyway, Fremont not real deep. We haven't seen much out of Perez, so they've effectively gone with an 8-man rotation. 2 of those 8 now at 4 fouls on the verge of disqualification in the fourth quarter. Pass goes underneath the Parson. Layup from the right side, or the left side rather, good. Zane's got 9. I believe that ties for the team scoring lead. And we have a timeout called by Fremont with 1:38 left in the third quarter. This will be a full timeout. Fremont will have 4 to go the rest of the way. And we remind you that both of these teams are in action next week in the IHSAA sectional tournament. Both of them playing Tuesday night. Bethany with a 7 p.m. true road game at Hamilton. Fremont plays at 7:30 against Prairie Heights at Westview. As I believe, that sectional is entirely Northeast Corner Conference schools. So that is a 7 p.m. tip-off for the Bruins on Tuesday. Fremont, let's see. Yeah, this is the last game of the regular season for them. Nothing coming up yet this weekend. They'll take on Prairie Heights on Tuesday at 7:30 at Westview, and you can check out IHSAATV.org for the latest and greatest in streaming information for the entire IHSAA tournament. This will be, if my math is correct, the 113th edition of the greatest thing since sliced bread. At least in some people's opinion. I want to know what the greatest thing before sliced bread was. So it's Fremont basketball as they come into forecourt after the turnover leads to the Parson bucket. Or the offensive rebound, I should say, leads to the Parson bucket. This is Ryan Baker driving from the right side wing. Fremont with its own bugaboo after holding Bethany to 1 point for most of the second quarter. Now, they've only scored 5 points here in the third as we come down to 1:20 remaining. Baker right side wing defended by Parson. Parson forces him over into the corner. Fugate comes back out, has the ball knocked away, and now retrieves it. Right slot with 1:11 to go. They go into the corner. Pass comes back, and it's picked off by Miller. He gets around the defender, and he'll run to the goal and lay it in with the left hand, and will not be putting that on his highlight reel. Fremont gets the rebound. Fugate comes back across the timeline. Parson knocks the ball out from behind. Parson gets it back on the pass. 2-on-2 on the fast break. He's going to back things out. Work it to Caffey into the corner. Miller. Caffey's right side wing 3. Short. Rebound into the corner. Out of bounds, and they're going to say that Baker reached in and knocked it out. As a good job by Sawyer Beachy to get over there and force the action. I think Fremont thought the ball was going out of bounds. They were going to let it wait, and then when Beachy tried to save it back in bounds, even though they had 2 guys there to take it, the Eagles tried to knock it back, or he tried to catch it sort of instinctively, and instead knocked it out of bounds to go back to the Bruins. Here's Rife on the right side wing, as stepping in front for the steal is Bloom. Out in front to Baker, and we're going to get contact and a blocking foul for a 3-point play. As it's the Bruins' second foul of the quarter. And I do believe we need to convert as to, we had to check if the shot indeed went in. So we'll count the basket. And then I believe we got the foul on Miller, which is his third, team's second. And the three-point opportunity for Baker, good. No shot. We were in the lane as the turnover goes to Fremont. Give Baker credit for the made basket, though. He does get that. Silver point for Baker. He scored point number 21 on his way to 22 while wearing number 21. As the Bruins have the ball in a 5-point lead with Parson holding at the top of the circle and 18 seconds to go, third quarter. Jude Miller's three from the left wing is good. So Miller's got 6 points in the third quarter, 9 for the game. Bruins up to a 30-22 lead, and now we're going to get a foul, looks like on Reif with 9 seconds remaining. As we're still waiting for this one to go, looks like they got it on Parson, rather. His second, team's third. Fresh possession for Fremont, and that'll be the third on Parson. And okay, I'm not sure if the clock started there, but no, the clock did not start. Maybe it should have. As the foul, they'll say the foul came before the ball went in play, and we're going to see the first action of the game for Toby Mast. Parsons' third, team foul number 4. This is Bloom holding well off the left side wing. Ball goes over to the right side to Perez, into the lane, out to the left side wing. They're going to get it back to Baker, and they won't get a shot off before the quarter ends. So the Bruins, who were down 15-8 with about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, now lead 30-22. Bethany scored 16 points in the third quarter. That is more than they scored in the first half. Fremont answered with 7 in the third quarter, so they have just 11 over the last 2 periods. And with 14 minutes down and 7 to go, it is Bethany 30, Fremont 22. So it'll be Fremont basketball to start the fourth quarter. And again, if you are just joining us, a reminder that we're playing tonight because the girls state final is on Saturday, and they wanted to get a little more separation between senior night for the boys and the state finals for the girls. So the Bruins take on Lanesville at 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning, Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. You can watch that game on Bally Sports Indiana, on the Bally Sports app, on IHSAATV.org. You can listen to it on WRSW-FM or on New Level Media. I believe that stream on Facebook. It'll be Fremont ball to start the fourth quarter. Bruins come out with Sawyer Beachy, Zach Reif, Jude Miller, Trey Caffey, and Tristan Mast. Toby Mast, excuse me. Tristan Mast is the older one. He's on the varsity roster. Fremont's going to counter. I see Baker. I see Bloom. I see Grimm. We've got Stephen Burkholder out there, number 5. This is Baker with the basketball on the left side wing. Back out to Grimm all the way out on the left side wing. And with an 8-point deficit, one of the things we often see is that teams, you want to stay in your offense and not panic, but you can't wait too long to start worrying about coming back. You can't, at some level, you've got to get a shot and not, as Fremont has done here, burn 30 seconds looking for the best shot and turn the ball over. 22nd turnover of the game for the Eagles. And it'll be Bethany basketball with 6:27 to go, fourth quarter. Bruins come across the division line into the left side corner. Caffey gives the ball out to Parson. Now the pass goes underneath to Aiden Falcone, who checked in on the dead ball. Caffey on the left side wing, over to Jude Miller. 3-point try, up and off the front of the iron. Falcone was in on the rebound, and a little too in on the rebound. He's going to get his 4th personal on the play, as he picks up fouls very early in both the third and fourth quarter, and they're going to dispense with him for the moment as Rice comes back in. As here's the steal for Parson, over to Miller on the right side wing, into the lane, Caffey back out to Parson in the corner. Zane drives. I don't know if that was a shot or not, but it certainly didn't go in. Fremont comes the other way. Here's Grimm back to the top of the circle. Burkholder collides with the defender, and they're going to get the foul on the Bruins. as let's see, still showing Falcone's last foul up on the board. This one goes on Jude Miller, his third. And we're going to get Toby Mast back into the game for Bethany. As the ball is back in play. Grimm's got it back over on the right side wing. But again, Fremont hasn't scored this quarter. They came in with an 8-point deficit. And we're going to get another 3-second violation called against the Eagles. And that will give the ball back to the Bruins with 5:35 to go in the fourth. As Sawyer Beachy brings the ball up the floor, they go into the corner. That is Rife double-teamed over there. He's going to try to dribble out of it. As the pass was grabbed by Verdon, but he fell on the baseline in the process. Going to stay with the Bruins with 5:24 left in regulation. Beachy will trigger the inbound pass. In fact, neither team has scored fourth quarter. Caffey lost the basketball, but he runs it down on the right side wing. Back to Parson out between the circles. Zane dribbles to his left, goes over to Mast in the corner. He's double-teamed over there. Going to try to work his way out of it, and he needs a timeout to bail him out. This will be a 30-second timeout called by the Bruins with 5:15 to go in regulation. So they've got 3 fulls to go the rest of the way. And again, our first court timeout of the quarter is a reminder that both of these teams are back in action on Tuesday in the sectional tournaments. Fremont goes to Westview. They'll take on Prairie Heights on Tuesday. Central Noble awaits on Friday. Then Eastside, Churubusco, or Westview on Saturday. Bethany will travel to Hamilton for a 7 p.m. tip-off on Tuesday. Winner plays Elkhart Christian on Friday. Winner of that plays Lakewood Park or Lakeland Christian on Saturday. As the Bruins go into a sectional with a team they beat handily in Hamilton, a team they have beaten but also lost to in Lakeland Christian, and then Lakewood Park and Elkhart Christian, 2 teams that Bethany thinks it should have beat but in fact lost to, as the Bruins go in with a 13-9 varsity record. Out of the timeout, Bruin basketball, as the Bruins were ready and Fremont was still coming back on the floor. Ball is back in play here. Parson up at the top of the circle, and we've got a whistle. 3-second violation on the quarter. The Bruins, I think. It's a turnover. And the ball will go back to Fremont. Here is Grimm coming off a screen right side wing. 3-point try from Burkholder is off the flange to the back of the iron. Parson gets the rebound out in front to Jude Miller. Right-handed layup rolls in. That fast break didn't even last long enough to sing the chorus to Hey Jude. Bruins get a chance at another one. The right side wing, here's Caffey. Miller in the corner, 4:32 to go in regulation. Bethany's lead is as large as it's been at 32-22. And again, that is the result of a 24-7 run that spans now more than about a quarter and a half. Bounce pass comes back underneath. Miller able to keep the ball in play for a moment, then lost it off the baseline. Bethany's 12th turnover of the game. But they have forced more than double that number as the ball goes back to the Eagles. 4:12 to go in what would be a long, hard road out of Eden for Fremont with a 10-point deficit and 4 minutes remaining. Here's a try to come back, though. Baker misses a 3-point shot. Grimm in on the offensive rebound, and are they going to get... They're going to get somebody on the foul down there. Jude Miller with his 4th personal, team foul number 7. And we'll get a free throw opportunity forthcoming here for Ethan Grimm. First free throw on the way on the 1 and bonus opportunity. It is successful. That's Fremont's first free throw opportunity of the second half. In the first half, they missed they had a 1-and-1 opportunity that was they had an and-1 opportunity where the shot was negated by a lane violation, so it goes in as a turnover rather than a free throw chance. But their last miss of the the last free throw of the first half was a 1-and-1 chance that involved a missed front end. As the Bruins get a steal here, and they're going to bring the ball up the floor and throw it into their bench. So the Bruins turn the ball over. It's a 9-point game and a scoreboard palindrome. It's 3-2, 4-2, 3 in the middle, regardless of which way you're reading. That means it's a 9-point Bruin advantage or a 9-point Eagle deficit. Actually, it's a both and, not an either or. Anyway, Fremont's got the ball out here on the left side wing. Baker dribbling toward the top of the circle. Dumps it into the key to Ethan Grimm. He is stripped by Falcone, and the Bruins will come the other way. Miller throws it over into the corner, and a nice dive from Grimm will knock the ball out of bounds. As Fremont goes back to its bench for Nevin Bloom, the sophomore, Perez will depart. We have a timeout on the floor with 3:26 remaining. This is a full timeout called by Terry Bontrager on the Fremont bench. So both teams now with 3 timeouts left. And the Bruins have 3 fulls. The Eagles have 2 fulls in the 30. As this opportunity, we have this opportunity to remind you that the Bruin girls, somewhat astonishingly, have 1 more game, as we're not used to them playing this late in the season because they've never gotten this far before. For the first time in school history, the Bruins play for a state title Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. pregame show, tip-off at 10:37 Eastern Standard Time. If you can make it to Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, by all means do that. I'll be there for the first time at a state basketball final. No BruinsVision telecast for that game. The local radio feed on 107.3 FM out of Warsaw. Also on the IHSAA Champions Network on both TV and radio. Bally Sports Indiana, IHSAATV.org. Bethany takes on Lanesville. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. We do need 2 to tango down there. But no, I can't believe I just read that promo either. 3:26 to go, fourth quarter. Bruin boys, who lost this matchup last year by 66 and who are leading by 9 after trailing by 7 in the second quarter, have the ball in the forecourt. Miller goes down to Falcone, playing with 4 personal fouls. He's out on the right side wing. 3:13 to go in regulation. Rife at the top of the circle, looks to his left, gets the ball over to Parson. Top of the key here is Sawyer Beachy driving the lane, picks up the dribble and scores. Sawyer into the book with a field goal for the first time tonight. He's got 3. Bruin lead is 11, 34-23. As what do we have over here? I'm wondering if we had somebody run on the floor on their way into the gym. This will result in another Fremont throw-in, and they'll bring the ball up the floor again. Coming across the timeline, they're down by 11 with 2:50 to go in the fourth, and I haven't seen a whole lot of a sense of urgency, and we won't see any more of Aiden Falcone after the over-aggressive defensive attempt leads to his 5th and disqualifying foul. It's going to be 1 in the bonus for Fremont as Toby Mast checks back into the game. And Ethan Grimm will go to the line for 1-and-1. His one free throw the last time he went to the line is Fremont's only point of the fourth quarter. Front end of the free 1-and-1 here is no good. Rebound rolls around on the floor, back out to Grimm. They'll get a 3-point try up from the right wing, good. Give the points to Stephen Burkholder. So the offensive rebound, or the missed free throw in a weird way, not the worst of results for Fremont. They get 3 points out of that as opposed to just the 2, as the pass into the corner zigs and Toby Mast zags. And the ball's going to go back to Fremont with 2.5 minutes left in regulation. 34-26, the Bruin advantage. As Grimm skips the ball over into the corner, Burkholder passes it down there. Parson got a deflection as the ball comes top of the key to Baker. Right side wing 3, Burkholder off to the right, no good. Offensive rebound kept alive by Grimm. They work it back to Baker in the left slot 3. That one rolls in. 6-0 run here for the Eagles. They're back within 5 at 34-29. Bounce pass comes to Rife, and he's fouled there by Isaac Perez. I've got that as Perez's first foul, team foul number 7. But the other thing is that Fremont committed enough fouls in the third quarter that that's going to send Rife to the foul line. As Rife will try to get into the scorer's book for the first time tonight for scoring purposes. He did get in on a foul earlier, and he's going to miss this free throw off to the right. Parson has the offensive rebound. Now a three-person tie-up will give the ball back to the Bruins with 2:01 to go in regulation. And Lucas Keys is going to take a full timeout. It's got to be a full timeout. That's all he's got left. With 2:01 to go in the fourth quarter. As, let's see, both teams are in the 1-1 bonus here. Bethany has 2 timeouts left, both of them fulls. Fremont has a full and 2 30s. Bethany with 1 more foul to give before Fremont starts shooting double bonus. Fremont has 2 fouls to give before Bethany starts shooting double bonus. So that means that Bethany has 8 fouls and Fremont has 7. And right now the alternating arrow still favors Bethany. It's going to flip to Fremont once the ball comes in here. As the warning horn will sound, it is Bethany basketball, and I said earlier that with a 5-point lead, it's not like you can take the air out of the ball with 2 minutes to go, but I'd still rather be +5 than -5 at that point. As the warning horns have both sounded, right? I'm not losing my mind, am I? The Eagles back out on the floor. They've got Burkholder, Brady Verdon, Ryan Baker, Ethan Grimm, and Isaac Perez. The Bruins are going to counter with Sawyer Beachy, Zach Rife, Zane Parson, Toby Mast, and Trey Caffey. That's Rife on a drive to the goal. He misses the running layup. Rebound to Fremont, which can cut the lead back to 1 possession with a score on this possession, but we're down to 1 minute and 4/5 in regulation time. Parson playing defense on the drive to the right side. Perez gives the ball up as they go over to Grimm in the corner. Grimm inside the arc. Layup from the right side. Good from Brady Verdon. His first bucket since the first quarter. Fremont back within 3, 34-31, and 92 seconds to go. Caffey comes into the forecourt. Across the division line, he's double-teamed. Parson drives left side wing. Layup, good. Zane Parson now with 11 points tonight. Bruin lead again is 5, 36-31. Back around the perimeter. Fremont gets the drive from Burkholder. Parson fouled him on the way up, and that's, I think, the third on Zane with 1:14 to go. As that is indeed the foul. And they've got Parson with his 4th. That would be the one I was missing. Team foul number 9, so Fremont will go to the line for 2 because it's a shooting foul here, and then they'll go twice on every foul the rest of the way. Burkholder, 0 for 1 at the line tonight, makes the first here. One more free throw for Burkholder. This would cut it to a 1-possession game. Second free throw off the right side of the iron. Rebound grabbed by Rife. As Beachy will bring it up the floor here, gets the ball over to Caffey on the right side wing. Caffey throws it into the corner for Rife. Rife goes baseline, skips it back to Parson, into the corner for Mash. Here's Parson, left side wing, backing it out and giving the ball to Sawyer Beachy as we tick under 1 minute to go in regulation time. Beachy with 53 seconds left. Right side wing, that's Caffey. Now we're going to get a traveling violation on Beachy with 49 seconds to go. But the Bruins do successfully run about 20 seconds off the game clock. Their 14th turnover of the game, and Fremont still needs 2 scores or a 3-point field goal plus a foul to tie the game. 3-point try up from Burkholder off front iron. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Going to stay with Fremont, 37 4/10 seconds remaining. As we're going to get a timeout called by Terry Bontrager, who had to run probably 15 feet onto the court to get an official's attention. This looks like it's a 30-second timeout, as are 2 of the 3 he has left. So it'll be, he'll be down to a full and a 30. Bethany has 2 fulls for the remaining 37 4/10 seconds. If you're tuning in for the varsity game tonight, you haven't missed anything. The JV game is just taking a while to get to its conclusion. The varsity game coming up 20 minutes after the conclusion of senior night festivities, which will start when this game is over. So we're looking at something in the vicinity of 7:40, 7:45. Off the inbound pass, the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Fremont. Okay, if the ball went in bounds, time should have come off the clock, and it hasn't. That's the second time I think that's happened today. And Bontrager is not pleased with his team as he picks up his clipboard in quite a bit of frustration. Here's a full timeout. I'm not sure if that was a timeout that stopped the inbound pass or if the ball was knocked out of bounds and there was another timeout called. But at any rate, Fremont is down to one timeout left. And it will be their ball on the baseline. So the Bruins have 2 timeouts left, and every Bethany foul is double bonus for Fremont. Fremont has 1 timeout left and 2 1-and-1 fouls to give before Bethany starts shooting the double bonus. Alternating arrow favors Fremont. Fresh possession for the Eagles off the deflection. Ball's going to come in underneath down here. Perez throws it up top to Grimm. They go into the corner. Back around and a three-point try on the way is good from Ryan Baker. That gets Fremont within 1, 36-35, but the clock keeps running as the ball comes in bounds. Miller gets around one defender. Throws the pass up the floor to Parson. Parson cuts back along the timeline, and he is wrapped up by Isaac Perez. His second foul, team foul number 8, will put the Bruins on the line for 1 and bonus with 16 and 3/10 seconds remaining. And there's going to be a conversation among the officials about something. And he's going to come over and have that conversation with Bontrager. And the fact they're having that conversation with Bontrager tells me they're not super pleased about something from Fremont. But we haven't seen anybody lose their cool yet, which is what I would expect if, I'm guessing was talking about what they were going to need to do to call a timeout, because Fremont would certainly be in that position here as Parsons' first free throw rattles in. Parson now with 12 points, including the last 3 for the Bruins. This would get it to a 3-point game. Second free throw on the way. It's going to rattle out. And we're going to get a lane violation on Fremont. They were into the lane early. And that's the second time that's been called on the Eagles today. They lost a free throw chance at this end of the floor in the third quarter because of it. So Parson will get another second free throw opportunity. And that one's good. Timeout. So let's see, if that's a full timeout left, it's got to be from Bethany. And the signal was clearly that is a full timeout. So Fremont needs a 3 to tie with 16 and 3/10 seconds to go. Each team is down to its final timeout. That is a 30 for Fremont and a full for the Bruins. If Fremont fouls Bethany, Bethany gets a 1-and-1 chance. If Bethany fouls Fremont, the Eagles get a 2-shot opportunity. Again, senior night is coming up for Connor Liris, the Bruins' lone senior. I think we'll keep that on the same stream before we wrap things up and send it over to the varsity game. Then the varsity tip-off at this point would be probably 7:45 to 7:50. This JV game didn't get started super early. We were a couple of minutes late. And 38-35, we've had 17 second half fouls and 8 second half timeouts. Fremont basketball off the Bruin make. They've got the entire baseline at their disposal. Burkholder will trigger the inbound. He's got Verdon near him down on the baseline. Perez on the left side wing. Up top here is Grimm. And Baker's over on the right side wing. Ball comes in, and Baker's going to pick it up. They run it into the forecourt. And I'm not sure if they were trying to get the timeout there or what the deal was, but they burned a couple extra seconds before they get the stoppage of play. It's their fourth timeout of the quarter with 11 and 2/10 seconds remaining. So Fremont out of timeouts. Bethany has one. And I would note that in high school, of course, taking a timeout does not enable you to advance the ball to half court. This is a 30-second timeout because that's all they have left. So Fremont's out of timeouts. They've got the arrow, though. Bethany has one timeout. They don't have the arrow, and they're going to put Fremont in the double bonus the moment they foul. The warning horns have both sounded, and neither team is out on the floor. Again. They say the two certainties in life are death and taxes. I would add a third as basketball teams being slow to break their huddle. Fremont basketball, spot throwing in front of the scorer's table. Bounce pass comes into Baker along the timeline. 8 seconds to go in regulation. He goes top of the circle. Spinning three from Grimm. Back iron, no good. Rebound is grabbed by Caffey. He is fouled with 2 seconds to go. And the 1-and-1 opportunity will forthcome for the Bruins. As the signal to the table is that somebody has 4 personals, which suggests, well, it's a couple of people it could be. They'll get, going to get Burkholder with his 5th foul, and Caffey will go to the stripe for his second free throw try of the day. First free throw is up and good. Now if you're Bethany, you're at a spot where you can give up a 3 if you want. You just can't foul in the process. Second free throw from Caffey is on the way. It's going to bounce around and fall as well. And the ball comes in. The three-point try misses. And the ball game is over. So the Bruins get 10 points in the fourth quarter. They were stuck on 8 with a minute to go with 2 minutes to go rather in the first half, as we're going to get the senior night festivities rolling here in a moment. Let's see. I think we'll go straight to senior night and recognize Connor Liris, and then after that we'll come back and wrap up the JV game. I'm going to. I know that our mic system is not great for picking up the announcements from the scorer's table, so I'm going to try and keep up and follow along with them here. The Bruins, thankfully, with just one senior. I say thankfully because repeating this for 7 seniors would take quite a while. And then once, as it is senior night, as Connor Liris is being recognized. Connor is the son of Pedro and Lisa Liris. He's participated in basketball for 3 years in high school. After high school, he plans to attend Ivy Tech and study automotive technology. His most memorable moment was going out as a team to eat out after a game and also in general. His words of wisdom were be loud, always be cheering for each other, be there for each other, and remember that the team is only as strong as the weakest link. He has some words of thanks for several people. Thanks to Coach Mast for all of the guidance and assistance, not only for basketball, but for life lessons in general, showing me how I can get better and cracking a few jokes when needed. Coach John Mast, thanks for everything you've done, from math in middle school to yelling at me on the court sophomore year, to being one of the great coaches my senior year. Just want to thank you for always raising the spirits in everyone. Coach Bruce Schleybaugh, I may not have known you very long, but I wish I did. Thank you for being a new face I could be open to. The coach's comments are, Connor has been a part of the basketball program for 3 years. one on varsity. He has a fun-loving spirit and enjoys life. He also has the ability to show focus and resolve. It's time to work and get better. We're so glad that Connor decided to play again this year, and his presence will be missed.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Connor for the lyrics.
And Connor he's down at the baseline with his parents, Pedro and Lisa. And I think we're going to get some photo opportunities going, because I see Sumer Schlabaugh's out there with the camera, standing on the fourth toe with a Bruin paw in the center jump circle. So now we've done that, we're going to take a moment and wrap up the JV game, then we'll sign off and get you ready for the varsity. On the scoring ledger, first for the Fremont Eagles, we have 6 points for Stephen Burkholder. We have 8 points for Ethan Grimm. 14 for Ryan Baker. Brady Verdon finishes with 4. And 2 for Nevin Bloom. Fremont with 11 points in the first quarter, 4 in the second, 7 in the third, and 13 in the fourth, for a total of 35. On the Bruins side of the ledger, Sawyer Beachy with 3. Jude Miller with 11. Zach Reif missed a free throw, did not otherwise score. Gideon Miller did not play. Zane Person finishes with 13. That's a team high. Toby Mass played but did not score. Trey Caffey with 11, including 3 threes. Aiden Falcone with 2. The Bruins score 8 in the first, 6 in the second, 16 in the third, and 10 in the fourth, for a total of 40. With that, the sands of time have slipped through the hourglass, and you can pass in the songbooks on another BruinsVision telecast and another Bethany Christian basketball game. This copyrighted telecast has been brought to you by the authority of Bethany Christian Schools Incorporated. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. And horses and cows can sleep standing up, but can only dream while lying down. We're going to sign off and get another stream started for the varsity game. Stay tuned to this channel for us to get that going here in a couple of minutes. We'll have the tip-off coming your way, I'm going to say about 7:54 tonight here on BruinsVision. Now, for executive producer Tyson Miller, head of school Dr. Tim Lehman, athletic director Gary Chupp, and our entire BruinsVision crew, I'm Tony Miller saying thanks for spending part of your evening with us. Good night, good luck, and don't run with scissors.